You're now tuning in to the Here's the Deal podcast, covering today's biggest stories from the gridiron to the hardwood. Hosted by Michael D. White Jr. and David Coleman.
He got too much weight on his foot.
First, 280 pounds in this Nike shoe, exploded out the back trying to do nothing but a spin move. Like,
he's too big to be making those type of agile moves, man.
He had on some PGs. First off, let's I don't want to get into it about PG shoes and whatnot. But you 280 pounds, you don't need to be wearing some PG. You need some goddamn Shacks on your feet. Something that can handle that type of terrain. What'd you think about it? What was your reaction?
Right, it was tough to see because it was a big game. Right. And I believe he got hurt about 30 seconds into the game. So like everybody paying crazy money for those tickets. So I can only imagine if I was a fan, I'd be pissed. But just seeing that, I mean, it makes you think about his NBA career going forward. Like, should he play out the rest of the season, or do you think he should sit out?
That's tough. So, as a hooper, I know you want to play it. Like, who's going to go to Duke and be like, I'm just chilling, I'm not. But now on the other side, looking from the outside looking in, basically, I'm like, yo, you might as well sit. Like, what if you get hurt to the point of you're not the same person no more? Right now, you project to go number one, all this type stuff. You get hurt, you can't jump like you used to, or you can't plant or do any of that. There goes your money, there goes your opportunity. It's a tough situation. Yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to the player and what he wants to do.
I think it's best, like you said, as a hooper, play out the rest of the season. I think if it's not serious, he should go ahead and play out the rest of the season. But it's also that security as far as, he's about guaranteed to be the first pick if he goes into the draft. So
definitely going to be the first pick. I think another angle I see with this is, like, the ticket. So the bare minimum for tickets was like $2,600 to get in to the Duke North Carolina game. So do you think players should be getting paid in college now? Like, do you think that as much revenue as these players bring in, do you think they deserve a piece of that?
Without a doubt, I think they bring in way too much money just to the school to not get paid. You got coaches getting paid multi-millions.
Coaches getting paid.
Everybody's
TV stations getting paid. ESPN, all of that stuff getting paid off what you do, and you can't sign autographs.
And they say, you get free tuition. Yeah, free tuition is nice, but I need a little bit more compensation than that if I'm bringing in millions to your program. So.
Definitely that. I just feel like if you're going to market so much with these players, like for instance Zion with the Duke, everything's about showcasing Duke and making sure they're always televised and things like that. I think a portion of that should go to the players ultimately because they're ultimately the ones doing the work. It's kind of a gray area. I don't know how you could do it, how you would dish it out. Do they become employees at that point? It's weird. I don't understand it, but when you're that good, you should be getting paid, plain and simple. And I think Zion Williamson with this injury, I think like the new G League affiliate where they're making money in that there, and LeVar Ball's idea to have his own league where they're making money there. I think that's the way it's going to start going because eventually, why go to college if I'm not going to get paid? If I can just go somewhere, get the training I need, then go straight to the NBA, you know what I'm saying, not risk injury. So it's a lot of different makeups you could take with that. But let's transition to the future of Zion Williams. So he has a knee sprain. He's day-to-day. He should be back soon or not soon, depending on what he does. Who do you think benefits the most from getting Zion in the NBA, and who do you think is going to get him?
Who benefits the most? Definitely the Knicks. Because if they get Zion, that just brings just another type of aura for whatever type of free agents they want to go after.
Right, definitely.
So I believe they would benefit the most. With the way the lottery's set up, it's kind of like those bottom three teams. They all have like an equal chance.
Yeah, it's now it's the bottom three. Each team has a 14% chance of getting the top pick. So yeah, that's what it is now.
Yeah, so it changes things as far as like tanking. So like as long as you're one of those bottom three teams, you got pretty solid chance of getting that first pick. But if he goes to the Knicks, it's going to bring in a lot of different aspects to their team. If he goes to somebody, say the Suns or the Bulls, just thinking of some of the worst teams in the league, the Bulls could really use him, and I mean, Phoenix can use anybody at this point. So, he goes to any of those teams, he's instantly starting. He's instantly gonna make an impact.
Agree. So right now, the bottom three teams is Phoenix, New York, and Cleveland. So, knowing the past, New York most likely won't get the first pick because I just don't expect him to get the first pick. Watch him mess around and go to Cleveland. Like, why do I feel like he's gonna end up in Cleveland? Like
LeBron part 2.
Like I can see Nike with the poster and all that. I can see them catering to the next show in town. But then again, him going to the Suns would be nice. You got Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton there. We were talking about that earlier. And then him going to New York ultimately. If you got Zion Williamson as your third best player, if you're able to go out to the free agency, sign 2 max guys, you looking pretty good. You already got Dennis Smith Jr. who was just watching the game. Dennis Smith Jr. looks good. They might keep DeAndre. We'll see what happens with that. But I like I said on last week's episode, I like the way the Knicks have positioned themselves for this summer coming up.
Yeah, definitely. With Zion, it's kind of like the only thing that he needs to work on in his game is his jump shot and maybe his playmaking. But other than that, wherever he goes, he's instantly going to sell. He's instantly going to be probably the biggest name in any of those organizations, unless the Knicks get KD or Kyrie. But that's about all I got on Zion. Yeah,
it's weird on Zion. It's like I want to believe he's gonna be exactly what we see in college, but now you're going against grown men. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do everything he does in college and everything we see in the highlights. Or even if you watch the game, the way he's just out muscles everybody else on this level, will he be able to keep that up in the NBA? That's something I'm excited to see. But let's move on to the NBA.
Yes, let's go on.
And let's talk about Paul George. Now, I hate Paul George. I'm going to tell you why I hate Paul George. Because he's not a Laker. And I feel like that was the biggest mistake he could have made. Now he's hooping. But enough of my hating. Let's just get to it. Paul George is currently in the MVP running, averaging 28 points a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.2 steals, shooting 40% from 3. He's having a career year, his best year of his career, especially since post-surgery. What do you think about Paul George's legitimate MVP shots?
He's definitely legit. I think it's definitely a 3-man race as far as who's going to get it. It's going to be between Harden, Giannis, and Paul George.
Right.
Because Harden's having a ridiculous year, Giannis as well. But PG, the way he's playing on both ends of the court, and he's finally starting to shoot down that I'm not clutch narrative. He's starting to hit those crunch time shots.
I ain't trying to hear that. I gotta see him. Nah, go ahead. I'm gonna tell you my part.
Yeah, he just hit that float over the Jazz the other night. I believe the double OT and windmills and OT. So that just tells you the type of conditioning he's in and how confident he is in himself now coming off that injury. So I mean, and he with the length that he's at, he's like a 6'10" forward, and he's probably playing in that perfect role where I can be a knockdown shooter. I create my shot every now and then, but he always has Russ to play off of, or Dennis Schroeder. And then you got Steven Adams. He's always setting them side screen, so he's gonna be able to get his shot no matter where, no matter what he's doing. So
I ain't trusting Paul George. So I see him do in the playoff.
Yeah.
Last time, look, he can do all this stuff in the regular season, windmills, floating over Gobert, all this 40-point game, knocking down these shots. I need to see him in the playoffs because the last thing I seen from Paul George in the playoffs was him going 2 for 6. Basically just letting Westbrook do whatever he wanted, shooting close to 50 shots that game, and them losing to the Utah Jazz in the first round. That never sat with me, right? So I understand a lot of people's case for Paul George and Oklahoma City Thunder. Great defensive team. Like you said, you already named everybody on their roster. They're a solid team, athletic, play defense. But ultimately for me, I need to see them doing the playoffs. Since Kevin Durant's left, Russell Westbrook got eliminated in the first round the year after that. Then he got eliminated in the first round last year with Paul George. Now, granted, it's definitely a different dynamic now. I definitely think they're a better team than they were last year. They're 7-3 out of their last 10. They're top 5 in terms of defensive efficiency. I like the Thunder, but is it fool's gold? I don't know if I'm going to see this in the playoffs. Yeah. What do you think?
So you saying you need to see that playoff P, huh?
I need to see the guy I seen in the commercial. That's what I want to see. I need to see that brought to the surface in the playoffs. I want to be able to enjoy that commercial. It's bad enough I already hate Paul George for not coming to the Lakers. So don't make me a liar. Please go out there. Go ahead.
I say, as far as Paul George, he said he had an injury last year, so it's hard to let last year slide. You can't go out there and lose to a rookie and Joe Ingles, and I'm gonna give you a pass.
Bro, why does Joe Ingles abuse this man like that? Like, granted, they won the game the other night.
Joe Ingles is nice. Man.
He's got something personal against Paul George. I seen him on Twitter the other day. He hit him with a little move. I was like, hold on, Paul George, where are you going? Like,
DPOY?
Joe. Hey, Paul George played good defense this year. Don't let me get into it. He's definitely in the running defensive player of the year this year as well. He's definitely, if I'm trying to think of it, I can't. Who would you put over him better as a perimeter defender right now? Playing right now on this level.
I mean, it's like Kawhi and Giannis. So it's those three kind of leading it off.
It's crazy. Think about it. Paul George might make all NBA first team, all defensive first team, and he in defensive player of the year running. And he's in the MVP running.
Don't let him win MVP. Don't let him win MVP with all that.
That would be crazy. But another thing I want to look at with Paul George's success is I think that Russell Westbrook has finally found someone he trusts 100%. You see what I'm saying? Like, Paul George is excelling in a role where Kevin Durant kind of fell short. They never won the finals with that. But Paul George is looking great beside Russ. There doesn't seem to be any friction. He likes Russ. And I think this is just another way of where we see that a lot of people in sports don't understand that chemistry matters. Relationships matter within a locker room. And Paul George, now best friends with Russell Westbrook, which is why he ain't come to LA. I'm going to bring that up every time. And, I mean, we see it working. We see Russell Westbrook is eager to give him the ball up, let him take over, let him screen, this is my house, all that stuff up in OKC. So I think that's an interesting dynamic that has finally worked out because, I mean, would you say Paul George is better than KD? No.
He's having a better year, but yeah, he's not better.
He's not better. So in this situation where the chemistry is actually working good, we see a player performing at a higher level. We're seeing someone, Westbrook, who ultimately wants to keep the ball all the time, eager to give him the ball. So I like how that dynamic has played out for the OKC Thunder.
Yeah, Russ is finally taking that back seat. I mean, the thing is with Paul George, maybe he was kind of like, I'm not going to say he was intimidated by KD, but he didn't want KD to get all that spotlight. With Paul George...
Oh, you mean Westbrook?
Yeah.
Westbrook. Got you.
Westbrook kind of, he looked at KD like, okay, if I do give KD the ball, he's going for 40. They're going to look at it like it's KD's team. He wants the team to be his.
I feel like Westbrook really thinks he's better than KD. Like, I feel like that.
He definitely thinks that.
I feel like he feels like that.
He thinks he's the best player in the league. If you probably ask him, he thinks he's the best player in the league. But with Paul George, you don't have that same aura as, oh, he's going off. He's the leader of the team. I would say he's the best player on the team right now, but
he's the best
I know a lot of other people that say, oh, Westbrook's averaging a triple-double 3 straight years. He's the best player on the team.
Go ahead and tell them the truth. You're wrong. It's Paul George. Paul George is clearly the best player on that team, both sides of the court, offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
And that's not taking away anything from Russ, who's having a great year, having another triple-double again. Mm-hmm. And I've always been called a Westbrook hater, so I'm not going to do it. He's having a great year. Paul George having a great year. I definitely think he's in that top 3 as far as MVP race right now.
Yeah, he's legit as far as as regular season MVP goes. Let's get it. I wanted to go into I believe Saturday's game. The Celtics had played the Bulls, the Chicago Bulls.
Right. Go ahead.
They end up losing that game. The Celtics lost 126-116 to the Bulls. I wanted to get into just the Celtics inconsistency and what you thought about that so far.
Well, I feel the same way I felt about the Celtics all year. I feel like they have too many pieces that don't fit, and they're trying to make them fit, and that's why they're inconsistent. You'll have nights where they look good, everybody's clicking, Tatum's hitting shot, Kyrie's hitting shot, sharing the ball, blah, 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 blah. But then you'll have nights where, for instance, Hayward hits nothing, and then Tatum is 2 for 8, or Brown is shooting too many shots, or Kyrie, being the predominant ball handler he is taking way too many shots. So I think that's where their inconsistency relies. I still think that they're going to be definitely a threat in the East when the playoff times come around. Rotation short, game plans get a little bit more. Yeah, all that stuff changes and whatnot. So I think that's where we're seeing the inconsistency. I mean, at least they're above 500, unlike the Lakers. We'll get into that later. What do you think about the Celtics? Why do you think they're struggling so much in this time?
They're still trying to learn how to play together, and then, like you said, it's like you'll have games where they're supposed to be a very good shooting team, but they'll have those games where one person's shooting good and the rest of the team's just shooting terrible. And that's how you end up losing to Chicago. That's how you end up losing to Chicago with a team with so much talent like the Celtics. And there's really no excuse for it. But like you said, going into the playoffs, I believe in Brad Stevens. I believe in Kyrie. I believe they'll find a way to figure it out to at least get to the second round, possibly to the conference finals, depending on the matchup. Throughout the regular season, though, it's not looking good as far as keeping Kyrie. It's not looking good as far as Gordon Hayward coming back from injury. He just started getting back healthy, it looks like, but I think it's still going to take him a little bit more time.
You think Kyrie stays with them after this year?
Actually, that's interesting. After the AD report about the Celtics being on the list or something, I mean, my little speculation would be, okay, Kyrie might have had a little talk about, okay, yeah, I would consider staying with the Celtics if you come.
I just think the way he's been reacting to reporters lately, him and Kevin Durant, they're wild card. I just don't know what to expect from them, where they're going. Earlier, Kyrie's like, yeah, I would love to extend in Boston, blah, 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 blah. Then months later, it's, I don't know anybody, blah, blah. I don't know anybody shit. And it's like, yo, like, do you want to play for them or not? Like, and then with the Anthony Davis situation, and now he don't care who he played for. That's not what we was hearing before. Yeah. Specifically before, they was leaving out the Celtics and whatnot. So those two are such wild cards. I don't know where they're going to end up. I don't know if Kyrie's going to want to stay in Boston. I don't know if they're going to try to move Gordon Hayward. I don't know any of that. But from what I've seen from the team, though, I think once the playoffs roll around, we'll start to see who's going to end up staying. And we'll start to see them getting more minutes. We'll start to see them be more in control of the game, especially with Kyrie on the court as their closer. I like everything about the Celtics, and we'll see where they take it from here. But moving on from the Celtics, let's talk about a team close to my heart, a team that's been hurting me lately. We're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, who have dropped to 28-29, below 500, 3.5 games out of the 8th spot in the West.
That bucket.
I got to start with my team. I don't understand why we can't be more consistent. Actually, I do understand, but at the same time, I figure you come out and you give an effort like you did against Houston the other night, right? You come out, Ingram has a great game, Kuzma has an okay game, LeBron has a good game. You playing defense on both sides. You're making the Rockets work for everything. Excuse me. And then you come out to the Pelicans without AD, with Jrue Holiday on a minutes restriction, and you get blown out and you can't get any stops. I don't understand what needs to click for the team. I think Luke has lost the locker room. I think LeBron has lost his teammates. I think the Lakers are in a world of trouble right now. I'm not being one of those guys that's, reacting off, short-term memory and whatnot, but I really feel like they're in trouble. What do you think about the Lakers and their playoff hopes going forward?
The way the Lakers are playing right now is shaky because one night, like you said, they'll be beating one of the best teams in the West. Next time, losing to one of the worst teams in the West.
Right.
So without their best player. So as far as going to the playoffs, I think Lonzo's going to be big as far as them getting back to the team they were before LeBron got hurt. A lot of people don't like to give Lonzo his credit, but he's a great defender, great playmaker, and he hits enough shots to where he's an effective shooter out there.
Definitely, his shooting has definitely improved this year, at least from three. He's still a horrible free throw shooter, but the whole team is horrible. Yeah. LeBron's he's in the 60 percentile. Brandon Ingram's in that same percentile. Then you got Tyson Chandler and McGee, guys who've never hit free throws in their life, still can't hit free throws. So all of that is bringing our team down. Go ahead.
Yeah, somebody got to teach them how to shoot free throws because that's how you move. That's how you win those tough games in the playoffs. That's how you keep winning these games in the regular season. Just hit your free throws, simple enough.
And then what I don't like, let's talk about LeBron. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about LeBron. He came out with this statement. Read the statement. What was the statement he said?
LeBron, he came out after the Pelicans lost. He said, he questioned the team's commitment. He said, is basketball the most important thing in your life at this time?
LeBron got an album dropping with 2 Chainz on March 1st. Is basketball the top song on his mind right now? I wonder. LeBron. Space Jam 2 is filming this summer. I wonder if basketball is the thing that's most top of his mind right now. I just feel like, Bron, maybe you feel that way, but I don't think it was smart to say that. Yeah, first off, you might have lost your teammates already. You just tried to trade all of them. And even if it wasn't all of them, even if the Pelicans were being extra and, trying to cause a little rift, the fact of the matter is you were just trying to trade all these guys. Now you want to make the playoffs, but you need these guys who you were just trying to trade. So I don't think insulting them, which is kind of how I took that as an insult, ultimately questioning, how hard they're working and basketball in their mind, questioning all these types of things like that. I think ultimately that's driving a wedge in between them. And if these are the same guys you're supposed to be making the playoffs with, how is that positive, going forward?
LeBron's always had like that passive aggressive nature to him, which I've never liked being, best player in the league, supposed to be the leader of your team. I've never liked that from him. And like you said, he's doing all these things. He's dropping shows for the shop every other week. He's filming a movie.
Like, what's going on?
He's making albums. Like, I don't know what's up with LeBron. It's like, are you focused in LA? Or are you worried about are you just there to retire? I think he went to LA just to get ready for retirement, honestly.
I don't want to say that because, at the end of the day, he's still a hooper. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say, he just went to LA. Because, no, I know he wants to hoop. I still know he wants to contend. But when I be watching him on the court and, I got it. You got Austin Rivers posted up. You need them to pass that ball in. But when the shot goes up, you can't, just the body language is all wrong. It's all negative. That doesn't send a great message to your team. That don't send a great message to your teammates in rec league. So I know in the NBA, right, if I could notice that as the consumer, as the fan, you know what I'm saying? Other people notice that, and who wants to? It's almost like who wants to play with somebody like that?
They're looking at LeBron.
Yeah, who gets mad every time someone else takes a shot? I got it. You had the mismatch, but it's basketball. I would think after. How many years LeBron been in the league?
About 15,
got them almost 16, 17. I would think after that many years, somebody like him would know that's not a good look. You know what I mean? But granted, he's never been in this situation with young players before. So
yeah, his patience is definitely running thin on them. He also had a quote saying, if I could pull it up right quick.
And another thing about the Lakers in general, I think our struggles. A lot you can kind of lay at the feet of Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka and how they constructed the team. The team is missing shooters. They go out at the All-Star break, go get shooters trying to rectify that issue. I think this team, even though they were trying something new and they wanted to put playmakers around LeBron and defenders of LeBron, I got that. You still need shooting in this type of league today. What's the LeBron quote you got? Go ahead.
He had also came out after that game. He said, the last few years, everyone's so accustomed to the losses that I'm just not accustomed to. I'm not accustomed to it. I never get comfortable with losing. That's what he said. So as far as that goes, he has to get more patient with these young players. They're not, they're 1 and 2 year players. They're not going to be on that same championship level that he wants them to be yet. They haven't even been in the playoffs yet.
But see, that's the thing, though. As soon as you sign LeBron, whatever your plans were, they're gone. Mm-hmm. It's now championship or nothing. It's not competing. It's championship or bust. And that's why I know a lot of Laker fans were kind of questionable. Some were questionable on signing LeBron ultimately during last season because it was What's that going to do for our young guys? Is that going to stunt their growth? Are we going to get rid of them? Ultimately, having LeBron, it's a gift and a curse at the same time. And the young guys, I hate to say it like this, are going to have to step up sooner than later if they want to be a part of the Lakers going forward.
All right, I wanted to segue into what happened over this weekend. So,
Houston!
Over the weekend, we had H-Town. We came in the Warriors building. Ended up beating them. The final score of that game was 118 to 112. And that was to cap off 3-0 versus the Warriors this year. The Rockets beating the Warriors. They haven't beat us at all this year. So it's looking good. Chris Paul had 23 points, 17 assists, and 5 rebounds. And Kenneth Reed came through with 20 and 10. And also was 2 for 4 from 3, which surprised me a lot. What are your thoughts on that game? And that was without Harden, by the way.
First off, the Lakers beat the Rockets the other night. Just wanted to get that said. The thing about the Rockets, I don't know how they beat the Warriors the other night. I just don't understand the Rockets at all. They have a little Laker in them, and when I say that, they can be up and down at random times. They'll drop a game here to a team you wouldn't expect. But what I saw from them against Golden State is exactly what I need to see from them in the playoffs plus Harden. That's how CP3 is going to have to play if the Rockets want to ultimately overcome Golden State this year. I like the acquisition of Fareed once again. When he got a 3 by his name, I don't know. I swear I used to watch Kenneth Fareed when he was with the Nuggets. You know, nice explosive player, undersized power forward. But now this man shooting. D'Antoni would tell anybody to shoot the ball. Yeah. Nobody. If he would have had Shaq might have hit a corner 3 or 2 with him. But I like the Rockets. CP3 definitely showed me last night he still can reach that level because he's been playing kind of wishy-washy this season so far. But I definitely like what I've seen from the Rockets.
Yeah, since coming back from an injury, Chris Paul has looked somewhat like Chris Paul last year. He's getting a little bit better in those ISO situations. We were an ISO-heavy team last year.
Right, definitely.
But now it's just been more so James Harden, but he's starting to get back to that level. We're putting Boogie in a lot of pick and rolls, which that's going to be their kryptonite come the playoffs for the Warriors. Just keep an eye on him coming back from that Achilles.
You got to make Boogie defend. That's a good tactic. Putting Fareed on him, a guy who can move, get up and down the court quick. That's a great little dynamic y'all have with that. Even ultimately, if Fareed isn't as talented as Boogie, he could definitely keep him on his heels with that.
Right, especially coming back from Achilles. He's moving a little bit slower. Got Capella.
Right.
So going into, I feel like we're just a perfect matchup for the Warriors. Like we've been saying over the last year or two, we want to beat the Warriors. It's just you have to beat other teams as well, not just the Warriors. That's the only problem I'm having with this team this year. Like I said, we're 3-0 against them this year. It's about losing these leads against OKC. We're up 26. Right. Losing these leads against the Lakers. We're up 19. It's just blowing these leads that we have. We got the game in hand. Just close it out. And then, like against the Lakers, they want to complain about Scott Foster, which he's not the best ref, but you got to play to the ref. You know you're not going to get those calls at certain points, even though it's a little bit ridiculous. But you just got to play through it.
Right. I agree 100%. Now, it was said that in those games that what was his name? Scott Foster?
Yeah.
It was said in that those games, like they're 0-7 in the last 7 games he's refereed. But at the same time, if we want to just take that game, for example, against the Lakers, I mean, you were up 20. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't give that lead up and put yourself in positions for the refs to take the game from you, ultimately, if that's how you feel the game went down. So, up 20, the Rockets have to definitely secure playing defense, locking that up. That's what I've yet to see from them this year. I still don't see them as a team I saw them as last year. I see them very good still. I think ultimately they'll end up in the Western Conference Finals depending on seeding again. But last year when I saw the Rockets play, 9 times out of 10 I was like, oh, this is a win. This is a win for them. Now I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They've kind of slowed down. They were hot for a while playing off James Harden, whose streak is still going, which is insane. Another 30-point game the other night. But they've kind of slowed down. I think they've dropped to like 4-4 in their last couple ones, something like that. I could be wrong. But ultimately, you're going to need that Chris Paul. You're going to need that Kenneth Faried. You're going to need Austin Rivers playing big minutes because he'll be guarding a lot of Steph Curry. You're going to need all of that in the playoffs if you want to overcome the Warriors.
Yeah, right now we're looking at facing the Warriors in the second round instead of the conference finals, so we'll see them a little bit earlier than last year, but that could be better for us. That could keep us, maybe we'll be a little bit fresher. Maybe we don't have to worry about the Chris Paul injury happening, things like that. We're going to need it to be simultaneous with James and Chris Paul. So it's like keeping those things together is going to be big for us. There's something else. Right now we're at 34-25. We're fifth in the West. We need to get up to that third seed. I think that would be big for us going into playoffs.
Definitely want to get that home court advantage in Houston. So at least that fourth seed will definitely help them the most. Any word on James Harden and his neck injury? I didn't even know he was going to be out.
Right now he's questionable for the Monday game. I know that. And we're playing Atlanta. So, I mean, that may be that may be another good game to send him out and then bring him back after that.
Yeah, you don't need him against Atlanta. Well, you would hope. You know?
Yeah, I hope so.
The Lakers just looked kind of horrible against Atlanta a couple weeks ago.
I'm confident when Chris Paul is running the team. Like last night, he got a 17 assist. So when he's running the team, it's always good. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go into our last topic of the day. We're going to go into our MVP rankings for the seasons. We're going to give a top 5, and we're going to have an honorable mention as well. So
Gotta do it. Gotta do our top 5.
So go ahead, give me your top 5. Start with your honorable mention. Well, no, start with number 1, and let's go through.
No, let's give them something to wait for. Let's start at the bottom. Let's start at our honorable mentions, and let's just go back and forth. So my honorable mention, I got KD. Not much to say about that. 27 points a game. Kevin Durant, Warriors, number 1 seed in the West. I really don't need to say much more than that. Who's your honorable mention?
I got Kevin Durant as well, so I mean, nothing to say. I mean, he's a sniper.
Go ahead, give him your top 5. Your number 5, excuse me.
Number 5 in my MVP rankings would have to be Joel Embiid.
Okay.
He's averaging 27.3 points, 13.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. He's clearly the number 1 for Philly. There's really no debating that, and he has him in a good position, so that's my 5th. How about you? I
got something a little different. At number 5, I got the babyface assassin, Steph Curry. Yes. Between him and KD at honorable mention, it was pretty much a flip-flop. He's at 28 points a game, just a point higher than KD. Again, Warriors, number 1 seed, same old spill each year. That's what I got at number 5. At number 4, I have the big man Jokic from the Denver Nuggets. What's crazy is when I was looking up his stats earlier, he leads the Nuggets in every major stat. Points, rebounds, assists, and steals. So it's kind of hard not for me to have Jokic on my top 5. Right now, I got him ranked at number 4 in the Nuggets, I believe, are the 2nd seed. Yeah, they're 41-18, sitting at the 2nd seed in the West right now. So that's who I got at number 4, Nikola Jokic.
I got same for me. I got Jokic as my 4th. Like you said,
man looked at my list, yo.
He's carrying that team. They're 2nd in the West right now. So there's really no arguing that. I'll take him over a lot of point guards right now. The way he's playing, he's 7.7 assists. As a center, I don't think we've seen that in some time. I don't think we've ever seen that, honestly.
Not that I can remember.
My 3rd in MVP rating, I'm going to go with Paul George. Give me PG-13, averaging about 29 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Like we said earlier, I think he's a legit MVP candidate. It's just the 2 guys ahead of him are having ridiculous years.
Number 3 for me, stole my answer again. I got Paul George. I promise we didn't do this on purpose. I got Paul George, too. Like I said earlier, this guy's in the running for All-NBA first team, defensive player of the year, MVP. The reason I'm having him at 3rd is he does have a running mate who's averaging a triple-double. And all those Westbrook fans say I never give him love. So I'm giving him the love he deserves. But ultimately that love has cost Paul George in my MVP ranking. That brings him down to 3rd on my list. At 2nd... Now, this was kind of tough. I was flip-flopping between 2 people. Yeah. But 2nd, I'm going to go with James Harden. I got James Harden at 2nd because the Rockets have fell off. I'm looking at it right now. They're 5-5 in their last 10. He did just sit out a game. He's had some less than stellar performances. Even though he had 30 against us, it felt like a forced 30 just to hit 30. So I've dropped him down one in my rankings, but don't get it twisted. James Harden's having a great season. He's the reason they are where they're at right now in the rankings. So that's who I got number 2 at Harden. Who do you have?
I got Giannis as my number 2.
Of course, the Houston fan, of course.
Giannis is number 2. His team, granted, they do have the best record in the league. His numbers look great. I don't really have a reason for him being number 2 other than number 1 is just he's the best player in the league right now. That's the only reason I got. So I'm gonna just go into my number 1. My number 1 is James Harden, the best player in the league, the big, averaging 36 points per game. We haven't seen that since Jordan. That's fast. I mean, carrying the squad, he's had to do it. Granted, a lot of people have knocked his playing style, but like I said, he has to do it. If he doesn't do what he's doing, we're looking at being where the Lakers are, and well,
disrespect.
James Harden team's not missing the playoffs. I don't know about LeBron team, but best player in the league right now.
Number 1, because I'm objective.
No.
I put Giannis Antetokounmpo at the top.
Well, I had to write this.
Best record in the league. Giannis 6'10", all-star captain, leading his team here and there. Only thing I don't like about Giannis, he hasn't, that three-point shot still not where I want it. But other than that, what more could you ask from a two-way player in Giannis Antetokounmpo? I got him number 1 on my top 5 NBA MVP list. So that is another episode down. Yes. We kept it a little bit shorter for you guys this time. Last time it was like at 1:50. Right now we're pushing up on 40 minutes. So I think this was good. You want to say anything to the people before we're out? Anything? Go ahead. Do you think?
I want to let y'all know that this is a football and basketball sports guy, so we do have football coming for y'all in the future. Lately, it's just been the time of the year. It's a lot of basketball news, and football's kind of slow, so we'll be getting that out to you soon.
We definitely want to talk about Robert Kraft and his massage parlors. So.
Yes. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. But
no, it is something wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, we'll have that coming to y'all soon. I'm going to get my plugs in for Twitter. You can follow the page at here's_the_deal. And then you can follow my page, my personal page, _DCole, 0 for the O.
Oh man, get your advertisement out. Go ahead.
Go ahead, get your plugs in.
Hey, once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You already know, you could, like you said, he's already given out our Twitter, our Here's the Deal Twitter. Of course, you can find us on Facebook at Here's the Deal as well. I'm your co-host, Michael White. You can find me at LWS_Michael White Jr. at Twitter.com. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate everybody listening today, and we'll see you next time.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you for listening to Here's the Deal podcast. Tune in for next week's episode. And don't forget to add the Here's the Deal podcast Facebook and Twitter pages.